Make these happen, people! Welcome to WatchMojo.com, and today we're counting down our picks for another top 10 most wanted video game crossovers. Before we begin, we publish new videos every day, so be sure to subscribe for more great content. For this list, we'll be looking at another set of video games we would love to see cross paths. Whether it's by having the characters square off, mixing together their playstyles, or introducing the roster and universe of one franchise to the gameplay mechanics of another. Number 10, Mortal Kombat and Killer Instinct. The MKverse has already dabbled in the realm of crossovers when it released Mortal Kombat vs. DC Universe, and considering how far the franchise has come since then, we'd say it's time to revisit it. But who would be the contender? Well, how about the game that has an even crazier cast of characters, Killer Instinct? Besides, Mortal Kombat already has thrown caution to the wind by including DLC characters like Alien, Predator, Leatherface, and Jason, so it really wouldn't be weird to see Scorpion and company take on the likes of Saberwolf, Glacius, and Fulgor, right? Number 9, Final Fantasy and Fire Emblem. With every entry in these massive, sprawling fantasy franchises, we get new characters, action, and innovation. It only makes sense that these long-running franchises could eventually cross over, right? I mean, Final Fantasy Tactics is already basically Fire Emblem? Well, not quite, but anyway. Who wouldn't want to see Cloud interact with and fight alongside the likes of Marth, Roy, or Chrom in an epic turn-based battle of swords and magic? It's about time these two giants of Japanese gaming came together and celebrated their legacies side by side. Number 8, Mass Effect and XCOM. Two pillars of the sci-fi genre, both entrancing the minds of players with immersive narratives and addictive gameplay. While Commander Shepard prefers the action RPG approach, XCOM has perfected the turn-based tactical combat. In our opinion, the Mass Effect universe would be ripe for some strategic gameplay, and the XCOM mechanics would be perfect for delivering a great experience. It wouldn't even have to retread any previous storylines. Can you imagine playing through the First Contact War as either the humans or the Turians? Or perhaps the early days of the Rachni Wars and Krogan rebellions? Come on, make this happen, BioWare.
Glad to hear it.
Good work, Commander. Hack it out.
Number 7, Total War and Middle-earth.
Quick march! Attack! Yes, General!
This one is a no-brainer. If it worked for Warhammer, it would work for Lord of the Rings. With so much lore surrounding the various races, factions, and timelines from the Lord of the Rings, there is plenty to choose from if Creative Assembly ever wanted to transition all that lore into Total War. The Battle for Middle-earth series was great, but adding in the depth of the Total War series would add so many interesting strategic elements. Imagine it, waging epic campaigns with your Gondorian forces in an effort to secure the One Ring, breaching the gates of Mordor, or heck, even defending them as the forces of Sauron. Number 6, Overwatch and other Blizzard properties. It goes without saying that Overwatch is one of the most popular games in recent memory. Many of its colorful cast of characters were quick to join the ranks of Blizzard's crossover MOBA game, Heroes of the Storm. While seeing Tracer and company spread across multiple genres is just fine by us, it's only fair that iconic characters from Blizzard's other masterworks get the same treatment. We're calling for a team-based first-person shooter that features the faces of the likes of World of Warcraft, Diablo, and StarCraft, as well as the Overwatch roster. Playing as powerhouses like Sarah Kerrigan from a first-person perspective would certainly take some getting used to. Number 5, Tomb Raider and Uncharted. Nothing like two globe-trotting treasure hunters working side by side in search of untold riches, adventures, and all kinds of trouble. If Lara Croft and Nathan Drake did meet, we imagine it could be through a well-crafted story that would perhaps place them as friendly rivals or even dangerous adversaries. The puzzles would be intricate, the combat would be fast-paced, and the set pieces would be pretty epic, right? We do acknowledge that the approach to this kind of collaboration would definitely require a lighthearted feel, while maintaining the action and pace that both series are all about. Number 4, Star Wars and Civilization. Sid Meier's Civilization series is the gift that keeps on giving, at least for die-hard 4X strategy game fans. Sure, we've had Star Wars strategy games before, but given the vast scope of the Star Wars mythology, adapting it into such a deeply intricate and successful format can only yield awesome results. So, do you serve the Republic or the Empire? Do you seek balance, or do you want to use the dark side of the Force to expand your domain? Would you be led by Yoda or Darth Vader? The possibilities are basically too numerous to count, and given how such a game could easily draw on the expanded lore, this is a crossover you could definitely lose yourself in.
Understood, Commander.
Number 3, Final Fantasy and Dynasty Warriors. Later games in the Final Fantasy franchise have certainly taken great strides to capture a sense of fluidity and freedom in their combat. However, they still don't have a patch on this hack-and-slash juggernaut. While the vast and lengthy narratives the Final Fantasy games are known for are more than likely to take a back seat should this crossover ever happen, allowing players to control every major hero and villain from the franchise and wipe out hundreds of enemies at a time is an opportunity that should not be squandered. Besides, if it's good enough for Legend of Zelda and Fire Emblem, why not Final Fantasy? Number 2, The Witcher and Telltale. Granted, their venture into Westeros wasn't the best of what Telltale had to offer, but we still have faith that this story-driven developer has it in him to produce a stellar choice-based high fantasy game. And what has more content and choice than the Witcher franchise? Such a game could serve as a possible follow-up to The Wild Hunt, one that focuses on Ciri's future exploits, perhaps. Maybe a prequel series that more closely follows the novels. Hell, we'd be satisfied with pretty much any angle, just as long as we got to dive back into the world of The Witcher.
Dead.
Number 1, Marvel and Injustice. Okay, so we know this isn't gonna happen, but go with us for a second. The Marvel vs. Capcom games are lighthearted, fast-paced, and certainly know how to light up the screen. But let's be honest here, folks. Injustice 2 has once again redefined just how far a fighting game can go in terms of polished gameplay and a solid narrative. And, Marvel vs. Capcom Infinite was kind of a letdown. The DC crew got their turn in the spotlight, now it's time for Spider-Man and company to go there as well. Why not have the ultimate clash of comic book icons in a massive crossover game? If they could make it happen in the comics way back in the 90s, don't even look it up, it sucked. There's no reason why they couldn't pull it off with an awesome new fighting game. Do you agree with our picks? Check out these other great clips from WatchMojo and subscribe for new videos every day.